Hey everybody. So, what I decided I'm going to use this channel for is talking about the world as it is today and how I think we can make things better, because I think everyone is really interested in making things better. So, I'm going to start by saying a lot of the things that I'm going to be covering will be political in nature. I'm going to be disabling the comments, not because I don't want conversation around the things I'm saying, but more because when people share their views online, it gets a little bit rough. And rather than being a place where people feel safe and they feel like they can bring what they have to say to the table, it gets hijacked by conversation that's not very productive. So I'm going to be turning the comments off. If you would like to reach out to me to talk about anything, I will have an email link down in the description. So you can always reach out to me if you'd like to talk. But more or less the way that I see things is that if you are a United States citizen, which a lot of the people viewing my channel at the moment and in the past have been from the US, you're faced with a choice. The choice is presented to you as one candidate versus another for president. In reality, the choice is a little bit more clear cut than that. Now, again, I said that this was going to be my opinion. You may feel differently about it, and I'm not going to try to invalidate your opinion or say that your experiences with things isn't real, but the way that I see this election is that we have one party that is running on a platform that is regressive, that is looking to take away rights from people, that is looking to take away reproductive rights from people, not just women, but also men, because IVF does affect men, and that when you have one party that is constantly engaged in demonizing minorities, communities that have always been at risk, not just in the United States, but in the world. And you have another party that is not perfect, that has its own share of issues, but that is doing a hell of a lot more to try to make life better for the average person. The choice is pretty clear. Having said that, the purpose of this channel is to reach out to Gen Z. So on the off chance there's any Gen Z listening to this, I just want you to know your voice matters, your vote matters, and that how you've been told the world works is not necessarily the way that the world is. And I say that for people on both sides of the political spectrum. As someone in education, I can say that there's a lot of ways that education has been changed to prevent you from developing your own perspective on things. And that's not an accident. A lot of it is the result of education being heavily invaded by the private sector. That might be something that I'll talk about at a later point in time, but more or less what you need to know is that this upcoming election between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, it's an important one. It is quite possibly the most important election that the United States or even the world will have ever had, and that you decide this one. Gen Z is the deciding voice. Pollsters and the Democrats and the Republicans know this, but they don't really know how to reach you. So this is me trying to reach you. And I'm going to keep reaching out because I know that your generation is dealing with things that my generation, I'm a millennial, didn't have to deal with. I know that you're coming into a world that doesn't really understand what you're going through and doesn't really know how to help, nor do they really help in general. In my line of work, I mostly work with Gen Z and Gen Alpha, and I have so much respect for your generation and what you guys do and how much you've had to persevere through the last 2 decades. And I just want you to know you got somebody looking out for you and you matter. I don't think I'm going to be able to convince anyone to vote differently in one video, but at the very least, be open to hearing what people have to say. And if you have any questions, again, I'll have an email link down in the description. And if you are someone who's on the liberal side politically, you do worry about women's rights, immigrants' rights, the working class, the potential that we could see a Trump presidency repeal hundreds of years of hard work in terms of civil liberties and support for NATO allies, then please vote for Kamala Harris. I don't have much else to say other than that, but I will be making more videos in the future. They're all going to be unscripted, just me talking over game footage. Not a ton of editing is going to go into it, but you guys matter. Your voice matters, and you're going to decide this one. So please make your voice heard. It matters.